So you can listen to Edelweiss. By the time I connect to Komal, Komal is our guest speaker today. This is a song from Sound of Music. It's a very old movie, but it's a fantastic movie on. Hi.
Hi, Smita. How are you?
Good, good. How are you doing?
Good, good.
So
Feels
I
so
was,
good to be here.
yeah, same here. I'm chatting with you after a very, very long time. I think we've not
Yes,
met after, we met last year, I think, for a session, personal finance
yes,
session
yes, we did. Yeah. And before that, on the trek.
on the trek. That's right. So I was listening
Yeah.
to this song called Edelweiss from Sound of Music.
Oh,
It's a
wow. Okay.
which grows in the mountain basically. So this movie is
Yeah.
shot in Austria.
Yeah.
So it's my
Yeah, it's one of
favorite.
my favorite movies. I used
Yeah,
to watch
same.
it a lot while growing up.
So I have a plan to travel. So I that is one of the location is Austria. So yeah, when we talk
Uh,
more about our topic, we'll get there.
yes.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for few people to join in. Let's
Sure,
wait for a
sure.
few. So
Yeah.
you're in Bangalore now or
Yeah,
Hyderabad?
in Bangalore right now. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm
So
actually
I've been
planning to.
traveling. Yeah,
Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
I've moved out of Bangalore now, so I'm in Kochi.
Okay. Okay. So you've permanently moved to Kochi?
For a while, for a year, because I work from home nowadays, so I work out of
Okay.
Kochi. Yeah,
Okay,
for this
nice.
year at least.
So how does that change feel, Bangalore to
So,
Kochi?
so it's really nice because I'm amidst nature because I'm
Uh,
staying in an island. So my place is called Vipin. It's an island.
okay.
So you know a lot of backwaters here. So I used to go for
Uh,
morning cycling and all those stuff. But
okay.
few 2 weeks back, I just had a airline fracture in my leg.
Oh,
So I'm still on my cast. I'm wearing the plaster now. So yeah, it'll be
okay.
removed tomorrow. I mean next week, next Monday. So I'm having a great time because I'm able to enjoy the nature, do work, whatever I
Uh,
wanted to do. So sustainable living here, minimalistic living here, enjoying the fresh
that's
oxygen,
nice.
fresh air
Yeah.
basically. I
Nice,
think
nice.
probably people have joined. So let's say hi to our viewers as well. So yeah. Hello
Yeah.
everyone. Welcome to our episode 16 of Kapi Poha session. And this is a show regarding life skills workshops which we do for NiMiTHAM basically. So NiMiTHAM is the name of the initiative, and I'm a founder of NiMiTHAM. My name is Smita, and you've been watching all the episodes so far. And from last 2 weeks, we've been covering a topic called life skill. I introduced life skill in the last episode. Last week we talked about life skill, one of the life skill which was coping with emotions. So today we have on our show Komal Shivdasani. She is the guest speaker for our show, and she's a financial coach. She's a co-founder of Rupika. She's an adventure lover, and she also does a lot of other activities. Like one of the important activity what she does is helping people to become financially independent, which is a great thing basically. Knowing personal finance, understanding it is a very important thing, and it is one of the basic life skill. So I happened to read in one of the papers, New York Times, that nowadays knowing life skill is also very important because I mean knowing finance as a life skill is very important. Personal finance has become the one of the important life skill. So probably you're doing a great job in educating people, creating a finance literacy, making finance, simplifying finance for people. So welcome to our show,
Thank you.
Komal. I just want to say
Thank you
you.
for that warm introduction, Smita.
Yeah.
It's really great to be here. It's an honor that you invited me, and hi to everybody who's joined. That journey of helping people on their financial journey is going to take a while. We've just only started, and it's a long way to go. In a recent statistic that I read said about 70% of Indian adults are not financially literate.
Literate, yes,
So
agree.
that's a huge number, and
Mhm.
yeah, long journey to go. We only just
Yeah.
started. Yeah,
So I attended a session which you guys conducted last year. I had a great time because so much of learning. So simply you put in a lot of concepts very in a very simple manner. That's great thing to do basically to simplify your finance because people think finance is a little complicated, and
yeah,
so simplify it. It takes a lot of effort basically.
yeah. And
So
people from
kudos
the
to your
finance
effort.
field, yeah, people from the finance field also don't make it easy. I mean, we tend to overcomplicate things, but that's really not
Yeah,
necessary. So I'm glad you
actually,
enjoyed the session.
absolutely. Yeah, so absolutely what we do is we try to give all the options. It's better to simplify it
Yeah.
and let the other person choose an option. So we don't
Yeah,
do that.
true, true.
So Komal, I want to know your journey. How has been your journey about getting to know more about finance? But how did you fall in love with finance, basically?
My journey, so I mean, it's not been like a straightforward kind of journey. I mean, I think all of us have different paths that we follow, and I think Sheryl Sandberg in her book Lean In, she had said that careers as such used to be straight ladders. You know, you go up one rung at a time, one promotion after another. But in today's day and age, careers are more like jungle gyms. You know, you
Yeah.
can change fields, you can change lines, and I think that's how for me, for life has also been a little like that for me. Where I grew up in Pune. I was born in Bombay, grew up in Pune. I'm glad my parents made that decision to move to a quieter town, and
Yeah.
that's where my love for adventure, for finance, and for entrepreneurship also came together. So
Mm.
my dad has been inclined to the finance field for a long time, although he is an engineer, and he used to watch a lot of CNBC at home. So more than Cartoon Network, I think I've watched more CNBC, and that finance aspect of things kind of got into me from a very early age. And I
Mm.
also used to think that finance is all about numbers. So
Uh,
throughout school and college, I loved maths. And I
mm.
used to think, okay, maths, numbers, finance, I'll do CA. That was a simple equation for me. And my mom has been somebody who has an entrepreneurial streak in her. So she has started her own nursery school at home. She has started a
Mm.
library of her own. So that streak has kind of passed on to me. And I think in my attempt to combine these two is what led me to start Rupiko eventually. But again,
Mm.
it hasn't been like, just finish CA and start Rupiko. It hasn't been that way.
Mm.
Throughout my growing up years, we have traveled a lot. My dad's always made it a point to take weekend trips here and there. You know, being from Pune, we used to go to Panchgani and Mahabaleshwar very often. You know, just take
Mm.
the car, drive out there, and just spend time in nature, like you were talking about nature earlier. It's very healing.
Yeah.
And then slowly we started going to other places, like we went to Uttarakhand, we went to Goa, Kerala, all these places.
Mm.
And more than staying in hotels, they would make it a point that we also stayed at homestays, like local places, and feel the vibe of the place more than just staying at a hotel. So
Mm.
all these three aspects, of finance, of entrepreneurship, of adventure kind of came together when I was 24.
Mm.
So that was when I moved to Bangalore. So in 2014, I had done the Hamta Pass trek with India Hikes, and
Mm.
that was the first time that I was seeing the Himalayas so up close and personal. And I'm sure
Mm.
you remember your first trek very, very well too.
Yeah. I did
Yeah.
Rupkund. I thought it is the
Okay.
easiest thing.
Yeah, so that first trek experience kind of pulled me even closer to the mountains. And I
Mm.
thought, okay, I don't know if I can work in the mountains, but maybe I can work with an organization that works with the mountains.
Mm.
So I started planning, okay, which trek should I do next? I thought I'll do Kashmir.
Mm.
But my parents were a little nervous about me going to Kashmir on my own. So then I thought, okay, how do I, do my next trek and all? And intuitively, I just wrote to the founders of India Hikes. And I said, okay, I know you don't have a job posting on your website for somebody in finance, but if you
Mm.
need any assistance, I'll be happy to join y'all. And luckily, they did need somebody back then. So I joined the accounts team in 2014 at India Hikes, and I moved to Bangalore. So I moved from Pune to Bangalore, and that change kind of, was my next stepping stone into a different world.
Yeah.
I learned how an organization grows. I was involved in the finance team very actively, and I also got to do a lot of treks while I was on the job. So that was a huge plus.
Mm.
And so one thing I noticed is that when we're from the finance field, when we're surrounded by people in finance, we don't really know what is happening outside. Like, how do people outside this field look at finance, personal
Yeah.
finance? But
Yeah.
it was during these 4 years of being at India Hikes that I saw people from different backgrounds different study backgrounds, different work backgrounds, different family backgrounds, not really look at personal finance the way I had seen it. And for me, it was very simple in my head. You do these few things and your finances are sorted.
Yeah.
But so that kind of hit me as, okay, I feel like there's something that can be done here and I want to help with this. I want to simplify things for people and I want them also to be able to look at finance the way I'm seeing it. It's not complicated. It can simplify your life. It need not be a worry. Money need not be a worry. Like money is just is something that aids you in your life. It shouldn't add to your worries.
Worries, yeah.
So that was the idea, and luckily I happened to meet Rushina while I was working at India Hikes. She is also one of the founders of Rupiko. Both of us started Rupiko together, and I met her, and she also shared this vision, and we thought, okay, why not do this together? And in June 2019 is when we started Rupiko. And just like a couple of years before that, I also met my husband on my trek, on one of the treks that I had done. And he also encouraged me a lot to, start this venture. So all these little things, little experiences kind of came together, and that's how I'm working towards this mission now. And I'm really glad that whatever path I have been on has led me to this now.
Yeah, that's great to know your story as well. So, so you've been in a city, you've traveled, and you've also been a city person. So, how is the life in mountains? Because when I was there with you in KGL, so you used to go and talk to this kitchen staff, support group, support staff, and all, and everybody used to know you, but they've not met you because you were working from the office in Bangalore and they are in the mountains. And I've seen you do these chit chats, getting to know their local lives and all. How was this experience?
This was all because of India Hikes. I mean, because being in the finance team, you're connected to every team of an organization. And we used to have a lot of talks with them, even from the Bangalore office. The team itself is very close knit, and the treks cannot run without the mountain folk. So these were very normal conversations. I mean, whenever you go, it's like your extended teammates, your extended team in another part of the country. So it was very easy to have these conversations, and being part of the India Hikes team helped these conversations. It was very easy to do it and get to know them better and see how they live. And it's one of my most cherished life experiences being there.
So I've seen you do that. So I used to see that smile on your face. Basically, your eyes used to lit up. They used to talk to them. They also used to be excited. Oh, Komal madam aayi hai. Indian office se. So that was the expression. I mean, I've seen them talk like that to you. So yeah, I used to observe all those things, and I used to feel so good about you that कि अरे यार कोई बंदा आ रहा है इतनी दूर से, and they already knew, and both of them are excited to share their stories. So you told about Rushina also. So both of you together do this Rupika work. So both of you based. She's also based out of Bangalore, or she's based out of?
No, Rushina is based in Mumbai. And yeah, we work remotely on Rupiko. We meet off and on. I mean, the last 1 year, because of the pandemic, we haven't met. But before that, we used to meet off and on. We used to do workshops in different cities, and we used to host them together. So yeah.
I think the last session which I attended, both of you were there. So now you guys you conduct webinars and all. How is it happening now?
Yeah, we're doing it online now. So every month we do 2-3 workshops and sessions, and we also do one-on-one personal sessions with people. And we basically distill personal finance into 8 steps. So we're like, if you follow these 8 steps, you're sorted. So yeah, we do that together.
I don't know whether you can see the magnet. There's a green magnet over there, which is still there.
I see it. So it's nice to see that.
Yeah, it always reminds me happy finances. So finance cannot be a worry.
Yes.
So let's come to the interesting topic which we wanted to discuss, which is travel fund. So I was mentioning to you that that I wanted to travel to Austria. I have plans to go to Antarctica, Northern Lights, and also people do have plans to go visit different places. So what is how do you plan the travel fund, and what is the benefit of having a travel fund?
So I'll come to the benefits first. So like if people are like us, like you and me, we both love traveling, we both love adventure, we both love the outdoors. And I think by and by, with cities becoming so crowded, more and more people are taking to, outdoor adventures, traveling, and it's a huge part of our lives. In fact, a recent Economic Times Wealth survey also said that in people's top 10 financial goals, travel used to be like maybe 10 years ago, travel used to be down, like sixth on the list, but now it
Yeah.
has moved up to second on the list. So after a child's education, travel is the next major financial goal that people have.
Yeah, people
And
think retirement के बाद travel करेंगे. First finish up all your responsibilities and then they'll travel. That's how people plan.
yeah, so traveling is a major part of all our lives. And
Yeah.
so how to save and why to save for it is, I think mainly, you won't have to think about, do I have enough funds? I want to go here, but do I have the money to go there? If you're continuously saving towards it and have a constant amount being set aside towards it, you won't think twice. You will be like, okay, let's say I have this spontaneous trip that I want to do. This weekend, I want to go somewhere. I can just dip into this fund and I can go. I won't have to worry about will my other expenses be okay or not for this month, and I won't need to borrow from anybody. In fact, Rushina was also recently telling me that personal loans for travel have also started, which
Yes.
I don't think is wise, because why would you pay so much interest when you can just, save up for it and then travel on your own? So it's essential to have funds, to set aside funds for certain goals that you have in life and that you want to meet. If you know you want to meet these goals, it's better to set aside rather than borrow. So how to save for it? I think I would classify maybe into short-term travel and long-term travel. So short-term travel could be those weekend trips that we would want to go on, say within a year. And long-term travel would be like, let's say you want to visit Austria maybe a year from now or 2 years from now. That could be a long-term goal. And then you estimate how much this travel would cost. Like say a weekend trip, maybe you want to spend 3,000 or 5,000. That also depends on the kind of traveler you are. Are you a budget traveler, or are you a luxury traveler, or are you a mix of both? You can sometimes you can want to have like a budget trip. Sometimes you might want to stay in a really fancy hotel or something. So it depends on that. So you calculate how much you would require for this travel. Like let's say Austria. So you estimate flight cost kitna hoga, and accommodation kitna hoga, food how much you will spend, sightseeing, all those things. You take a total of that, and then you back calculate. So say 2 years from now you want to go, back calculate and see how much should you set aside every month to achieve this in X number of months. And then once you've arrived at this monthly figure, you can then invest it in certain avenues, like let's say mutual funds. If it's short term, it could be a debt mutual fund, which is better for short term investment. If it's long term, it could be, say, a hybrid or an equity mutual fund. Now, yeah, so mutual funds is another thing that I feel is kind of difficult for a layperson to understand, because there are so many out there.
Yeah.
But one easy way to remember is there are only three types: debt for short term, equity for long term, and hybrid, which is a mix of both.
Okay.
So once we know that, okay, short term ke liye save karna hai, so I'll put it in debt, long term ke liye equity, and maybe medium term ke liye hybrid. And then we set aside in a monthly systematic investment plan, SIP as they call it. Say 10,000 per month you're setting aside in this fund. Then anytime you need the funds, you can easily withdraw it and spend on this travel. So then it becomes very easy. Like you don't have to think too much when you may want to make this travel expense. You've already thought of it, you've set aside an amount, and now it's worry free. It's like this is your travel fund to use only for travel. So it feels very good when you do it that way.
Yeah, so tension nahi hai, worry nahi hai. At least everything is taken. Yeah. So
Yeah.
because I took a sabbatical for a year, so I also managed through mutual funds because I used FDs
Okay.
and mutual funds. So mutual
Huh.
fund, जब भी जरूरत होगा, you can redeem it the same way you were.
Yeah.
I kept it for 5 years. So basically, I always do everything for 5 years. So once
Okay.
the 5 years was over, then I thought, yeah, अब निकाल सकते हैं. So whenever I needed
Huh.
it, I used to take it off. Not everything,
Yeah.
not the entire amount, whatever is needed. So that way it was easy.
Yeah.
And I stopped my SIP when I stopped working. When I took that break, I stopped
Huh.
putting the money in the SIP. But whatever was there, I could easily redeem it. So it was very
Yeah.
useful to give us this useful tip about mutual fund because a lot of people think that it's very confusing, but you've simplified it
Yeah.
in categories. So, Komal, I know that you are an avid reader also. So I've seen you carrying books wherever you go. Trex also has seen it. So tell me, what are your hobbies basically? I know you're an adventure lover. You read books also. Apart from that, anything else is there?
Um,
But the list is long.
uh, no, no, it's a very short list. Yeah, basically like reading. I've started writing also recently. I like writing.
Okay.
Um, Started making it a little more regular,
Yeah.
and
Blogs is
running.
blogs is you write blogs in your site also, right? Rupika ke site pe
Yeah,
bhi.
right now it's mostly for Rupiko. Yeah, and
Hmm.
slowly want to also start writing for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so apart from that, just trekking, running, yeah, mainly these things. It's not a long list.
So yeah, I don't even like running because I always have a fear of falling down. I don't know why it is there. It is
But then
always been there.
when you trek, do you feel that?
So I had a fear of water. I mean, I couldn't swim.
Okay.
I couldn't. I have a
Okay.
fear of height as well. So imagine I've
Okay.
conquered both of the things because of my trekking.
Yeah.
And also,
Wow.
I've done marathon also because you need a fitness for trekking because has that stringent
Uh,
rule of doing that for 40 minutes and 5 kilometers and also because of that I did running also. But till now I'm not got that confidence in running yet. So
no, it'll come. It'll come.
yeah, I know, but here now I've got a fracture, so now I
Uh,
have to take a little precaution in doing any
uh,
physical activities for a while. So yeah, so you told us about. So can you tell me about any of your favorite books?
Um, so lately, what I have read, I think for finance, there's this book, The Psychology of Money, which
Hmm.
I think everybody has to read.
Hmm.
It doesn't talk about how to pick stocks or anything like that. It talks about literally the psychology of money and how one can look at money, how people usually look at money, and how you can change that and things like that. So it's very interesting. And a couple of months ago, I read Educated by
Hmm.
Tara Westover. That
Okay.
kind of yeah, it moved me a lot. It was a very deeply motivating, and yeah, it was just difficult to describe in words. It's a book that has to be read. It's about her journey of how she educated herself and
Hmm.
achieved a doctorate, and not having gone to school in her initial years at all. So
That's
yeah, it's
wonderful.
quite motivating.
So I'll make a note of it and definitely read those books basically. So you've been doing adventure experience only trekking or any other adventures also you've looked at?
No, mainly trekking. I did river rafting once again with India hikes, but mainly trekking. Yeah.
Okay, so what's your life
Uh-huh.
mantra?
Life mantra. Okay. Think it would be this quote by Leonardo da Vinci. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication.
Hmm.
I actually read that in the biography of Steve Jobs, which is another favorite book of mine, and I that kind of it's something I identify with the most.
Yeah.
To simplify your own life and to simplify things around you is not as easy as it might seem. So if you're
Hmm.
able to achieve simplicity in life, I think that's the best it can be.
So, yeah, simply living simply is not the easy thing. I agree, completely agree with you. It लगता है आसान है, होता नहीं है.
Uh,
Lot of efforts behind it. So if you say sustainable living or plastic free living or all those things, zero waste, it's not easy because though
yeah,
everything is coming up in plastics and also very difficult
yeah.
to live that kind of a life basically. So another thing I wanted to ask you is like you are involved with finance. So what is the one life skill which you think is very important in one's life?
One life skill is personal finance knowledge. and the ability to apply that knowledge in everyday life. Like most people think personal finance is only about investing, but there is a lot more to it. Like it's not just about where you invest your money, it's also how you manage the money that you get. It's a lot to do with expense management, debt management, having a budget. A lot of these things get lost when we start working. We start earning money and we start spending it, not thinking too much about where we are spending, but knowing that if you're spending in the places that really mean a lot to you. Like some of our hobbies might be expensive. Like trekking is not a very cheap hobby to have, but if you know these things mean a lot to you, and then you set aside funds for that, whereas versus spending on things that don't mean too much to you, like let's say taking cabs at the drop of a hat. A lot of money is going and we don't realize it. And does it mean a lot to you? Can you replace it by, say, taking a metro or a bus or something like that? So small things like this was just one example, but small things like these do have an impact on our financial journey. So not only about investing, but also how we manage the money that we earn is an important life skill to have.
Yeah, so it's not only saving money into a bank account or a deposit or anything. Also, you're looking at how you're expensing it out as well.
Yeah.
So if you look at expense in a better way, you can manage well.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good tip for everybody, I think. I think our chat show is going to come to an end. So let me check with questions as well, if there are any questions for you. So everybody said hi, and let's see. So no question as such. Lot of people have joined, I think. So I had a great time.
Me too.
Talking to you.
Me too,
So
Smita.
I think I also want to know about what takeaway you want to give to the viewers as well from your life, your own experience.
Takeaway, as cliched as it might sound, would be to follow your heart. I think the heart already knows where you want to be. I know it sounds cliched, but maybe follow your gut. I'll replace it with follow your gut. And just believe in that instinct. Like believe in yourself and what you want to do, what you want to achieve out of your life. And if you do that, then I think you will be the happiest. And then everybody around you will also in turn be a lot happier, rather than not following your gut and then regretting later on.
Yeah, so I also agree to that. I do things which make my heart flutter. That's what I put it across that word. And what I
that's a
say,
nice way.
like it's an inner compass, so it guides you.
Yes.
So my guide is my inner compass. Whatever my inner compass tells me to do, I probably go with that. So I think let me check once again. Keep writing. So people have said that keep writing, Komal.
Yes,
So I think
I shall do that.
I think in India's website also I've seen some of the content written by you. Some
very few, like just two or three articles, not too much.
So hope you continue writing, and probably we can see you as an author soon. Then maybe you'll get there.
Thank you, Smita.
So just 1 second, okay? Let me check once more if somebody said anything or not. Yeah, they're not questions. So there are not many questions here. So a lot of people had joined, I think. So a lot of your followers have joined in. So thanks for coming on the show and sharing all these tips.
Thanks for inviting me.
Travel fund, personal finance, and also telling the importance of personal finance as a life skill that people should know about it, and also simplifying the concepts of mutual funds as well as giving us those takeaways. It's been inspirational for us to have you on the show. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure for me as well. So let's catch up, viewers. This is for viewers basically. So let's catch up next week with another interesting personality to discuss about another interesting topic. So see you on next Saturday at 7 p.m. And my ID is Gatsi_Musafir. And in case you want to watch the old episodes and also this current episode, you can watch it either on Insta or on NiMiTHAM's YouTube channel. And this episode will also be available on podcast soon. So you can watch it on, you can listen to the Spotify as well. So there's one question. What are your sources for stock picks?
Stock picks. Okay. So I refer to valueresearchonline.com. That's a great website to, read up about mutual funds and the stock market in general. So Value Research Online is a go-to place for that.
So yeah, let me check for something else if somebody else has written any questions, because they at the when you are just disconnecting, sometimes a question pops up. So
Ah,
yeah, that's the only question we had. Okay.
okay, great. So
So
I will see you soon, Smita. Maybe on a trek.
on a trek, or maybe if I'm coming to Bangalore, I'll let you know so we can catch up at that
Sure,
point of time.
sure,
Sure.
sure.
Convey my regards to Abhishek as well. So I met both of you on Kashmir Great Lakes. I think I haven't met Abhishek after that. So convey my hi
Yeah,
to him. Take
we will
care.
do.
Bye
Take care.
everyone. Bye Komal.
Bye
Bye.
bye. Bye everybody.